Welcome to Food Pirate TV, and today we're going to be making one of my favorite dishes, chicken curry. Although there's a little twist to this one, we're going to be shortening the time process, kind of switching up some ingredients so that you can make this during the week on a busy schedule. So it's going to be a quick meal that we can enjoy during the week versus the traditional way where it does take a long time to make with the prep and everything. It's a little trick I learned from a friend of mine that I thought I'd share with you guys. So I hope you enjoy it. First thing you're going to want to do is get all your ingredients. Everything from some cilantro to chicken breasts, good quality chicken breasts. We're substituting that versus the traditional drumsticks and thighs. We're also going to be using cream cheese instead of yogurt and a few other modifications. So get your ingredients together. If you like what you see, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and hit subscribe. The full ingredients are posted below and look forward to getting this going. So there's going to be some fancy editing and then we'll start. Okay, so to start off, we're gonna need a medium onion chopped, yellow onion for this one. You can use red, I just like the flavor of the yellow onion in this dish. Ginger, we're gonna use about a tablespoon and a half of ginger. The fresher, the better. You can always tell it's fresh by just giving it a smell, and if you can smell the ginger, it's good. It also looks yellowish towards the end here. You can feel it, it feels nice. It doesn't feel like it's dried out, it's not rotting at the end, so it's good. And cutting ginger, you're just gonna cut a little nub off, and then I just kind of scrape the sides off here, kind of get the end off, and then use the knife to peel the skin off so you can expose the root. And then you get that all off there. And then once all that's off, you just set it up and then give it a slice to the amount that you need. And then once you have that, then you just want to kind of cut it into, you can dice it, chop it. We want it real chopped small because we want this to blend in with the sauce as we're making it. And so it'll give it a real nice flavor. I really enjoy the flavor of ginger in dishes. It just gives it this exotic taste, and I put it in eggs, I put it in everything. If you juice it with like an apple, it's actually a really good flavor. You can put apples and oranges and things like that together and juice it and put some ginger in it, but it's really good. So we're gonna get this chopped here. And I think that looks about right. So about tablespoon and a half of ginger. And then we'll come here and put this aside for now. And then we're going to get our garlic, and we're going to want about a tablespoon to a tablespoon and a half of minced garlic, which is probably about 2 to 3 cloves, depending on the size of the clove. So what I like to do is get the whole clove and then just push down on it to loosen up the cloves here, and you can pull them out as they get there. And that's a pretty big one, so I think we might be good with that one. Might work good. I'll get this one right here too, I think. Okay, so we have 2 of them here. I like to smash them down, and then I can chop them better. Peel off the skin on this one here. It's a little tough one. So you get the skin off, take the ends off, and then we want to mince these up nice and fine, because again, just like the ginger, we want this to kind of blend in with the oil and the sauce to really give it a nice flavor without having to taste any of the chunks that are in there. So give it a rough chop to begin with, just to kind of get the pieces small. And then once you get there, what I like to do is turn everything kind of on its side and go the opposite direction. And then once you get there, then I like to just go through and give it a chop to get it down to the level that I want it. And we want it minced pretty fine here, so we're gonna be trying to get this whole thing down pretty fine. And get about a tablespoon, again, tablespoon to tablespoon and a half, depending on your flavor, what you like. This dish is intended to serve 2. You can probably get 4 servings out of it. If you're using rice, because rice can fill up a lot there. If you're going to use a tortilla or make some flatbread with it, you can probably have a whole serving there. So we're going to take this and put this down here. And then the next thing we're going to add is a serrano chili. You can use a jalapeno, you can use whatever chili you want. You don't even have to use chili. I do like the flavor of it, so we're going to cut the top, the bottom here, and then I like to cut it down lengthwise. And then one of the tricks to take away a little bit of the heat is you can cut out all the seeds. And so you can take out all the seeds, and then all you have left is the rind. It'll still give you the pepper flavor, but without all the heat. So then you can chop that up. And turn it on its side here and give it a nice, good dicing. Okay, so that's all diced up here, and then now I think what we'll do is we'll clean up a little bit, and then we'll get the chicken cut up, and then we'll start putting everything together and get this dish put together. Okay, so we've got our vegetables all cut up, and now it's time to get our chicken cut up. So you're going to want to get your chicken breast together here and get your meat knife that you're going to use to cut. And all we're really going to do is just cut right down the center and get these into strips, because we're going to want to dice these into nice small cubes that you can cook quicker. And when you cut up a chicken breast, it cooks quicker, so it's going to be easier for us to get this going. So we're just going to give it a rough chop. That's going to dice all these strips up here for us, and that's going to make it a lot easier to cook. I got the chicken breast just from the local supermarket. Pick the best ones. Again, the better quality ingredients you use, the better tasting the dish is going to turn out. So we're just going to do the second one. We're going to dice it up here. And then get it just in these little strips, and then it makes it easier to dice up. All right, so now we have that, and we're just going to give it a chop here. I'll grab these two. Chicken will cook up nicely. The breast really absorbs a lot of the flavor and the spices that we use. And so it's a good substitute when you need to make it quick. With the drumsticks and the thighs, they're really good when you use them and marinate them the night before, and it really gives a good flavor. This does a good job of substituting that, and so I tend to use it during the week when I don't have a lot of time and I want to make a meal quick. So we've got it all diced up, and so now what we're going to do is we're going to start getting our wok heated up, and then putting all of our ingredients together and making this dish, and I'll show you how easy it is when we get back. Okay, so we've got our chicken cut up, and we've now got it in a mixing bowl. What we're going to do here is we're going to mix together our spices, and it's going to go into the chicken. We're going to mix it all together, and then we're going to cook it. So the first thing we want to do is add our minced ginger and our minced garlic to the chicken. So we'll get that in there. And then you want to add 2 tablespoons of curry powder. You can get it at your local grocery store in the spice aisle or order it online. So we got 2 tablespoons there. Then we want to add a teaspoon of salt. Want to add a teaspoon or half a teaspoon of turmeric powder. It's going to give it a really nice yellow color. We want to add a teaspoon of cumin powder. And then we want to add a teaspoon of garam masala. You can get this at all these spices you can get at the grocery store as well. So now we're going to take this and we're going to mix it all together. You want to give it a good mixture, make sure the chicken gets coated with all the spices and the garlic and the ginger so that it's really nice. And it's going to flavor it and turn it up real good. So we see we're mixing it all together here in the pot. You want to make sure all the spice gets used so that nothing's on the bottom there. Okay, it looks like we got it pretty well mixed up. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to get our wok, You can use a deep bottom pan as well, but I like the way the wok works with dishes like this, where I can cook it in fast and fire and hot. So we're gonna turn this up to high heat. And then with this dish, you can use coconut oil, you can use ghee. I'm using coconut oil now, but I've used ghee in the past. It gives it a little bit nutty of a flavor. Coconut's kind of a neutral flavor, and it really does good when you're stir frying it with a wok. So we will use, we'll start off by putting about a tablespoon of coconut oil into the wok. And then we're going to get that going around here. We're going to coat the sides, make sure the oil gets all around. Good there. Now the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to add our onions to the wok and give those a good stir fry. You want to get them nice and get them around, get them hot, get the oil mixed in them so that they sweat. And you want to get them until they're translucent, or one of the tricks I like to use to know when the onions are ready is when they don't smell like onions anymore. When that rawness, that smell of raw onions goes away, that's when you know that they've been cooked through. And when you're cooking this on high heat, it tends to go pretty quick with these onions. So you want to be careful because you don't want to burn them, because we're going to do some more cooking. So get them through, nice and translucent. They're starting to come along real nice. Okay, so now we're going to add our serrano chili to it. Get that mixed in. And it gives it a really good aroma. It's not going to have as much heat as it normally would have if you put the seeds in there. But since we took the seeds out, we're going to get the flavor and a little bit of heat, but not too much. So get that mixed in real nice. Have that coming along. So that looks good there. Okay, so now we're going to take our chicken and we're going to add our chicken here. And then get that mixed in real nice. And the spices that we just kind of mix them in are going to really cling to the chicken because the oil's hot, the onions are cooked, everything's going to mesh real nice together here. It smells amazing. I wish we had smell-o-vision so you guys could really get a sense of what this smells like. But it smells amazing. So we're just going to cook this through. We want to seal in the spices, so we want to get them cooked on high heat on the outside, stir fry this till we get it nice and seared on the outside here. Okay, that's coming along nicely. See, and the turmeric gives it a nice yellow color. It's that deep yellow color. It's really a healthy spice to use. Not too much of a flavor, but it does have health benefits. It gives it a good color. You only need a little bit of it. A little goes a long way. That's coming along nicely there. You can see the color is amazing on it. It's really coming along really well. So now that it's kind of settled here, we're going to let this cook for probably another 3 to 5 minutes, stirring occasionally just to get the outside completely brown. And then from there we'll start adding in the rest of our ingredients and then we'll finish off the dish. Alright, so our chicken is coming along good here. It's just about cooked through. It looks really good. It smells amazing in here with all the spices and everything is mixed together. So once you're at the point where it's cooked through, what you're going to want to do is make a slurry, blend it together, 8-ounce pack of softened cream cheese, let it room temperature so it gets soft, and 2 cups of chicken stock. You want chicken stock, not chicken broth, gives it a better flavor. And so all you're going to do here is you're going to mix it together. When the chicken's cooked through, we're going to add this to our wok or to the pot. And you're going to want to mix that all together with the chicken so that it comes through. It's going to mix, it's going to blend together here, and it'll thicken up as it gets hot. We're also going to want to add a 1/4 cup of cherry tomatoes. I chop them up, quarter them, and just add those in there. And then lastly, we're going to add 1 more tablespoon of curry powder. And then we're just going to mix that up. Turn the heat back up a little bit to high. You want to bring this to a boil, and then once we get it boiled, we're going to reduce it to a simmer. And you want to let it simmer about 10 to 15 minutes. And that should give it time to get all the spices and the flavors mixed together. So just get it mixed through thoroughly, and just keep stirring it every now and again just to get everything mixed through. And this thing will be done here in no time. So we've got it mixed through. We're going to let this simmer. It comes to a boil. We're going to reduce the heat, let it simmer, and then we'll plate it, and I'll show you guys what it looks like. All right, once it's done simmering, you can see it's all come together here. It's got a really nice, vibrant yellow. You can add a punch of cilantro to it and mix it in at the very end here just to give it a little bit more flavor. So we're going to go ahead and plate this here. You can serve this with rice, jasmine rice or basmati rice. You want to stick with the long grain rice that absorbs the sauce in here, and just put it in a bowl like this here, and then you can top it with some more cilantro, and there you have it, chicken curry in a hurry.